Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of 8 Minutes with Activ8. In this episode, we are joined by Activ8 founder Stu Conroy, and we're going to be discussing some of the ways the brands should expect their e-commerce content to be changing. Thank you for joining us today, Stu. So to start off with, what are some of the content trends that you have seen throughout 2020 that you are excited to see develop in 2021?
Well, it was a turbulent year, wasn't it? So lots of new things came out. I think a lot of people discovered the old tools for the first time. They probably put them off until COVID happened. And that includes things like video, looking at different companies that are coming into that space with interactive video in particular. So easing the process for the consumer. Obviously live shopping, which we're very much involved with, and is going to be across social commerce and also on websites. So lots to learn in that space, but those are the ones that really emerged, from places like China. But the online world has taken over in many ways, but I still think physical retail will now see its day as people come out of lockdown, and retail will definitely reinvent itself.
And what has the absence of an in-store experience meant for brands' online content? For example, in territories such as the UK, who have had extended lockdown periods?
I think they've just taken it seriously. There was a big shift in the boardroom with COVID, and operations and online suddenly got taken far more seriously. It was those brands that were able to adapt, and they've been very innovative throughout 2020 and the early parts of 2021, reaching out to their customers. And I think people still crave the in-store experience, but obviously we've seen Debenhams and the likes of Arcadia Group hit the wall, so to speak. So the companies that took them on have got a large online presence. So it's really looking at how you can transform that in-store experience over to the digital world, which you haven't got the touch and feel, but that doesn't mean you can't do the sales process and really engage with the customers, and probably lends itself to better retailing experiences, because many a shop floor salesperson has been overwhelmed by very knowledgeable customers coming with all of their learnings from Google and other platforms. So now it can be more tailored and appointment only bookings and these sort of things. So it'll be interesting to see whether fast fashion and those sort of elements can survive on the high street. But every brand's had to up its digital game, and as it gets more congested, I read that there was 1 million new Amazon accounts in 2020. So that's going to mean more competition, and big brands are going to have to be adaptable and still fight in the micro elements as all these new sellers come onto the market.
It's interesting that you mentioned a shift in how online is now more prominent. What do you think this means for formats like live stream shopping?
The thing I love about live stream shopping is we're talking about it this week with a couple of clients. If you're particularly in an independent shop, Google know they've got a problem with independent shops being able to have the time and resources to do Google properly and Google AdWords, where you're driving traffic to a website and all the experts you need, or the team that you need to run all of these websites and PPC and SEO, all of these things. With live shopping, you can bypass a lot of that. So if you're an independent store, you can advertise to your audience, go live when it's quiet in the shop, and I think it's just a brilliant time for this technology coming out of lockdown in particular, that opens up a whole range of opportunities for brands, but of all sizes, but really talking one-to-one or one-to-many with their customers. So in China, we've seen 30% conversions when people are using live stream shopping, and those trends are happening fast into the Western world. And consumers want convenience, so being able to speak to your favorite brands directly in your own time, it's not quite the shopping experience, but it might actually suit a lot of people more.
So how can brands get started with this?
I think there's when we looked at it a year ago, there was 1 or 2 apps out there, and now there's probably spoken to about 20 in the last couple of months. Obviously, you've got the social media channels as well. So TikTok's announcing their piece, Facebook and Instagram, you can do the live shopping experience. It really depends where your customer is, how you want to transact with them or communicate with them. And even QVC announced 2 weeks ago that they're going on to YouTube. So the social media platforms are trying to get our attention for live stream shopping. There's standalone apps. There's technology that will embed it into your website. So really, it's finding out. In the early talks that we've had with brands, it's all about finding out what's right for them. And then our goal, Costa, as always, is to do the end-to-end piece. So the idea that somebody can put their stock in our warehouse, go live, talk to their audience, we ship it out for them. All of the data for the accounting side is all taken care of. So it just makes it simple for people to just have the fun parts of a product business, which is doing the selling and communicating with the audience.
Thank you for joining us today, Stu. Thank you everyone for watching. And if you have any more questions, feel free to get in touch with Activ8.